What is detachment? Now, we all understand detachment in our own ways, okay? And there is, I think, no specific. I don't think that detachment is something that you can understand through one definition. Okay, I think it is different for everybody. It's got levels. It is also a perception in my eyes. Perception come experience in my eyes. So I'm going to use the tarot cards and let's see where we arrive, with regards to understanding detachment via the tarot cards, where the tarot cards takes us. So I'll just do a quick shuffle. Oh, beautiful. Okay, makes sense. This is exactly why I love tarot. I expected a hermit, but there is no hermit. There is a Queen of Cups in reverse, Nine of Swords, Three of Cups, Eight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Detachment, had the Queen of Cups not been in reverse, I would have deduced a different explanation. But since the Queen of Cups is in reverse, and what follows the Queen of Cups in reverse is the Nine of Swords, detachment is not something, is basically an activation. It will never start when things are fine as per you. It will never start when you don't have questions for life. It will never start when you are in peace with your life. It starts at a point when everything, your life is sort of upside down, okay? You don't know what to do with your life. You don't know how to establish that peace in yourself. While the activation starts with unrest, things not falling into place, things not going the way you want. And when things don't go the way you want, the first response is absolute obsession with it. ये मेरी जिंदगी में होना चाहिए, पर ये नहीं हो रहा. अगर नहीं हो रहा है, how do I cope up with something that's not happening? I cope up with extreme amount of obsession. I don't want I'm not getting the person I want, but I know that I can't stay in the situation also. How do I cope up? How do I get out of the situation? I become even more obsessed. That's a general response. That's how people usually, or you'd say majority of the people usually respond to things that are not happening. When something doesn't happen, we chase behind it. We chase to have it. And that is exactly the moment a part of you starts desiring detachment, which is basically not being fixated on the person, not being fixated on the situation, not being fixated on per se not being fixated on the thing that you're craving the most. A lot of time it so happens that people be like, whenever I want something or desire something, that doesn't happen. But the moment I don't desire something, that happens effortlessly to me. Why is it that? The moment I fixate myself into the outcome of what I desire, I don't get it. But when I don't think about it, I've probably, which could be, it could be as simple as you applying somewhere. You want that application to turn in your favor, but you are not bothered. You're like, okay, I've applied and we'll see what happens. You will see that when you get into this mode where you're like, we'll see what happens, things start playing in your favor like that. But the moment you're like, no, I want to make this thing happen, things starts delaying. There's suddenly inhibitions in the process. There's suddenly, how should I put it? There's suddenly obstructions, external forces playing out for you, so that doesn't happen. The idea is not to give you what you want. The idea is to understand that something happening or not happening is not your responsibility. The maximum that you can do is act upon it. You've acted upon it. What else can you do? Suppose you are in a relationship with somebody, you want it to work, the other person doesn't want it to work. What more can you do apart from giving yourself, apart from doing the maximum you could? In your hand, what you have in control basically is the action. Once you've done what you could do, you have nothing else in control. So detachment to a certain extent is also understanding that we cannot be in control exactly. Yes, We cannot be in control of everything. And just because we cannot be in control of everything, that doesn't mean we will let go of the peace that we have achieved, or we let go of the peace that we work hard to achieve. That's the first stage. So when things, Queen of Cups, had this been upright, that means everything is like, you know how to handle yourself, you know how to balance yourself, you know how to stay in your highest form. It's reversed, which means detachment starts at a point in your life when you know that there is nothing that I can control, and I want to control it so badly now. It also stems from the fact that you want everything to be the way you want. You are not okay with not having it any other way. That is how an idea or the seed of, detachment is planted in yourself, in your mind. Detachment gives you peace because there will be no fixation, no overthinking about the person, the situation, the idea. But for that to happen, you need a comparison. How do you start detachment? How do you understand that I need to stop putting my focus onto this person, onto the situation, if there is no such situation that you want to control? So life puts you in a reversed state where there is no calmness, there is no peace, there is no certainty, and that's how the detachment starts. Got my point? So the first stage to the detachment is wanting extreme control in your life, wanting whatever it is that you've desired, but not having it. Not having it. That's the first stage. Nobody is taking anything from you. You are actually being given the gift of detachment, which is not being fixated on anything or anybody, even if you want that person. Your idea has to be, I want this person. The maximum I can do is act for this person. I have acted. I have expressed. I have done everything. If it's a job, I've applied. I have spoken to the HODs. I've spoken to the department. I've spoken to the HRs. I've sent them some, I've sent them some reminder mails. And even then, if this doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You cannot let go of your peace just because something that you have desired is not happening. That's the first stage. That's not just the first stage. That's how the idea or the seed of detachment is planted in your system. However, everything that you want, it's easier said than done. It's very easy to tell you that don't think of it, don't stay fixated. But that's your nature. That's what you have. That's your foundation. You've seen everybody around you being fixated on everything that they've wanted, chase things that they've wanted. This is fairly new, fairly new experience for you. How do you not chase something or someone that you want? How do you not stay fixated on something or someone you want? We live in a world of attachments. We live in a world full of attachments. Then how in the world am I supposed to be detached from the things that I want in my life? So this is when this seed is planted in your life. The first stage is that of 9 of Swords. Absolute mental exhaustion, not knowing how to navigate. Okay, you think it is obsession that will help me out, help me through this stage. I need to think of this more so that I don't leave it. I have to act more so that I don't leave it. I have to put more effort, even if that's exhausting me, even this is causing me mental trauma, but I'm going to do a lot so that I somewhere prove myself that attachment is the real power and not detachment. So the first step after the seed of detachment is planted in your system is fighting it. You fight the idea of detachment. You're like, this is not the reality. I don't know, what am I thinking? Am I being delusional? How can I not chase something that I want? How can I not stay fixated on something that I want? I'm going to put in more effort. I'm going to give more effort into this. I'm going to pour myself even more. Even if I'm left with nothing, even if I am dry, even if I have no energy left, I'll still use my willpower to want to sort of manifest this in my life. And this is, mind you, when you're forcing something, you can never manifest. Okay, if something requires you to force things, you can never ever manifest it into your life. And that is also not something that you'll realize it very quickly. It's going to take you time to realize that. So once the Nine of Swords happened, the Queen of Cups is in reverse. Peace is in reverse, basically. There's no peace, there's no certainty. Nothing is going on in your favor. Going in your favor is what you think, and therefore you respond to it. When there is chaos, how do you respond to it? You respond to it with trauma, you respond to it with tension, you respond to it with stress. So there's a lot of stress when something like detachment happens, or that seed, like I said, is planted into your system. And then happens the Three of Cups. You want to, while this is a celebration card, it's a card of community and all of that, I'd use this community card to explain this whole idea of detachment as, what is that word? Distractions. Yes. When you know that that you're being taught something entirely different, you're being taught a very different story, you're being taught a very different reality of life, which is against what you know. You try to be with the people who believe in the older versions, who believe in attachment, who believe in chasing people, who believe in justifying the chase, who believe in justifying the need for attachment. Because when you are with a community of like-minded people, by like-minded people I mean the community that believes in attachment, that community that believes in chasing, you want to find peace in these people. But let me tell you, detachment is a very powerful and a very funny play. Why I tell you, you would want to go back to your community, you would want to go back to the people you know are extremely attached to things that they want and everything, just so you can feel that there is no reality being taught to you, or there's no reality told to you, new reality told to you. You try to, spend time with these people to sort of celebrate and let loose and forget and escape the idea of detachment, escape the idea of letting things be and not controlling it. But you'll realize that this escapism doesn't really works for you. And the moment you realize this, you would want to stay with them, but at the same time, you would want to stay away from them. You would also want to leave them. You would also want to leave everything that is teaching you attachment, that is feeding you attachment, okay? And this is a very common result of the activation that happens in you. Detachment is dreaded. Detachment is like how the part 3 of the current reading that I'm doing. I'll link it here. You can see that. I told you that the person that you're going to be with, or this person with whom you have an unsaid connection, you can't cut cords with this person because the person's intention is very, very good for you. He doesn't have any malicious intent towards you. But he's also a very headstrong person that I'll only come forward when I'm established. I don't want to be a pursuer when I come forward with my cup of love. I told you that cutting cords is not something that you can, do here. You have to let the situation be. Detach, which means his presence or her presence in your life shouldn't really bother you. That is the amount of, that is the state that you're supposed to reach. That you are so enough in yourself that you can walk away at any point in time, that you can leave the idea even after being a part of it at any point of time.